Here we are on hole number one. Just kind of give you a brief look at the greens. I think you'll know from previous videos and pictures that the backside of one was in pretty bad shape. But when we put the sand out, of course, it makes it look worse. But I think this has been a long time problem where there's probably some things that are underneath the surface that probably, if we wanted to really fix it, we'd have to go ahead and take off the plane surface and scoop down all the way to the form and completely redo it. But we'll get this figured out pretty quick as far as playability. See, decent coverage. Kind of surprised the guys with the camera today. I told them to actually go fly through the greens, so the messiness is my fault. Just you can see we've been striping fairways. Not always happening out here at the bay. This is a couple days after rain, put back in place. Does need to be raked again, but overall pretty good. All right, here we are walking up to number two, backside of the green. You can see no pre-emergent put down last fall. This is the areas that I've been spraying with the sprayer green surrounds and a little bit of T-tops. Otherwise, everything would look like that. Here we are on 2 green. One of the issues we found is heads here had been turned from 360s into 180s pointing out, and I assume that's because of the prevailing southwest wind. So I'm sure someone thought that that would be a smart thing to do, but this area of the green here was just basically toast, and they just couldn't seem to keep it alive. And you can see it's almost all filled back in just from switching it back to 360s and getting a little bit more water. Overall, pretty happy with this green. Again, the sand being just thrown out makes it look worse than it is. That's just, I'm gonna come over here, show you what we've got. Bad spots that have been there for years, and we're just trying to get the vent to fill back in and cover up the low spots. And you can tell by the POA encroachment there that this has been a problem spot forever, but overall, green in pretty good shape. The middle, the putting area is just 100 times better than it was a couple months ago. We're starting to get a lot of compliments about the true putts coming back again. And fairway, this is, what is today? Tuesday, so we have not got through the rough. They've been through the fairways and the surrounds once, but the rest of the mowing will get done closer to the end of the week, towards the weekend. All right, Dave, we got number 3 green here. Again, I think you're aware of how grading on a scale happens at these courses that have a lot of issues day in and day out. So we've got to the point now where I'm getting members talking to me about, well, when are you going to get them softened up so that we don't get those hard bounces, and when are you going to get those little imperfections like the POA out and stuff like that, which to me is a great thing, because it means we've moved past the concern that we were going to die and not have any greens, which I think was a legitimate concern not too long ago. There again, number 3. Still on number 3. We've actually even found time to get my truck filled with Roundup and did some spot spray around trees, getting ourselves set so that we don't have to do the weed eating every other week. Okay. Here we are walking up to number 4. Plan on number 4 is this coming Monday. This is probably the worst green that I have right now. We'll get to 7 and 8, which are always bad, but this is just a huge area that we're not getting a lot of bent moving in. So we're going to top dress heavy and skip mowing for a week and go ahead and put some granular out too. Just let that bent get a little bit taller. And we have a walk mower. We're going to raise it up to about 180, 190 and mow it a little bit higher over here. See if we can't get just some bent to start moving in and fill those bad spots. I know that it's not going to be a great green, but I'm trying to do it on the cheap with absolutely no money spent. Again, pretty decent color. Walking the greens, they feel good. You can see just a little bit of disease, some dollar spot. You know, Greg up at Nakona is really fighting it. I've got a couple of greens that have got it pretty bad, but let's see, we're a little, I don't know if we're even behind on the bunker edging, to be honest. We probably get it once a month, and it'll probably go until next week, and then we have a big tournament the following week that we'll get everything cleaned up for perfectly. And again, you can kind of see where I spot sprayed some weeds just post, and know that we'll get everything cleaned out just from the heat coming up. And we did get pre-emergent down this spring, so we're back on cycle. Okay, number 6, going out of order because I got a golfer over there. Actually, I think it's an employee, but we'll just give him his space. So this is a green that I believe the only real issue here is lack of hand watering over the summer. You know, this slope and mound and then the back areas, they all tend to dry out a lot, and I think that's really all we had to get through was a good regimen of hand watering, get a little moisture back in there. The root system was still okay. We did some patching. Eric did some patching before, but you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but we have some low patches, and so we have to go through and raise them up and get them leveled out right there, and then right over there. You can see the low spot. And there we go. Again, bunkers are playable. Never expect them to be pristine, and everything else basically playable. Walking up to number 5. Looks like I got a little bit of a weeper here. You can actually see some water coming out. Take a look at it a little bit later. Everything okay on this green. I'm gonna get on the tractor and see if I can't just get that filled in and fixed so that we can mow through it. I don't have to do too much other than break the edges down there, and then we should make this a lot more maintainable and make a lot of people happy if we don't call these bunkers anymore. Everything else good. Number 7. So you'll remember from previous videos, I think this is typically called the worst green or number 8. They're both in the same vein, just because there's so many spots all through the green that just absolute cratered pits, horrible. If it's not POA, it's bent, or it's Bermuda coming through. But I think this is probably about the best we could hope for this time of year. We have spent a decent amount of time patching and trying to get things so that we at least have the middle puttable. And overall, it's okay. We had some people out last weekend that haven't been here in a couple years, since we actually had good greens, and they were okay with it. They didn't say that it was good like a lot of people are saying, but they didn't feel like they didn't get their money's worth. So I called that a win. All right. And oh, I got my 3500 stuck when I was trying to mow. Let everybody see it, kind of took a picture of it and shared it around. had a good time with it, and I need to come back and fix those rocks, put everything back in place. Funny. Decent bunker, 2 days out from being raked. On a Tuesday, we'll do it again on Friday. Walking up to 8 green. A few little issues, haven't been mowed out, but overall it's okay. So this back portion of the green, I actually went through the YouTube videos, and I don't think we have one at all of Runaway Bay having bent back here, but my first year in 2013 we actually had bent grass on this back portion going from the mound about 6 feet back, but not all the way to the back edge there. This back 4 or 5 feet was actually part of the fringe, and I think you can almost see the difference in the Bermuda and the old bent POA, and then up here kind of where the bent is supposed to be. But that's just a, if we would have done pre-emergent last fall, we probably would have puttable up here. Maybe not, I don't know. I don't want to say we would, but same thing as 6, so clear what happened. You know, they just didn't hose water. You cannot expect the irrigation system to keep up with the south-facing green in the middle of the summer. It's going to take, I don't know, 15-20 minutes of hose just on that to every 10 minutes of overheads. Pond is on the schedule for this, not this upcoming week, but the following week. We're going to go all the way around it, and we have a May 20th member guest that we want this pond and the turtle pond to both be cleaned out, and I think we've got a little bit of MGA help to get some of the undergrowth and the little scrub trees cleaned out. We'll make a little work day of it, and I'll buy him some beer. But the middle part of the green, where we put pin positions, is actually puttable, and this is the one that when I started back, Eric told me that it was just going to have to be gutted, that there was no chance. We should just put a temporary up. Looking up on 9 green, did a little granular app and kind of watering it in a little bit, so a little bit closer behind on number 9 than on the rest of the greens, but you can see it's a little wet. And again, the green itself is okay. I'm not grading anything as good yet, not by anybody's standards other than grading on the curve, but I don't think there's any real issues that we have to be concerned about. The showing continual fill in on the bad spots. I've actually worked on the nut grass a little bit too, and we've got that almost manageable second app, and we should be good. For some reason this number 9 green is the only one that we have sedge issues with, and I'm not sure how well it's showing up with the light being behind it, but let me walk around this side and you can just see how much throughout the entire middle portion of the green. New guy mowing, going all the way through. I'll get him fixed. Of course you can see clogged nozzle on the last spray app. Okay. Looking up on 9 green, did a little granular app and kind of watering it in a little bit, so a little bit closer behind on number 9 than on the rest of the greens, but you can see it's a little wet. And again, the green itself is okay. I'm not grading anything as good yet, not by anybody's standards other than grading on the curve, but I don't think there's any real issues that we have to be concerned about. The showing continual fill in on the bad spots. I've actually worked on the nut grass a little bit too, and we've got that almost manageable second app, and we should be good. For some reason this number 9 green is the only one that we have sedge issues with, and I'm not sure how well it's showing up with the light being behind it, but let me walk around this side and you can just see how much throughout the entire middle portion of the green. New guy mowing, going all the way through, getting fixed. Of course you can see clog nozzle on the last spray app. Okay.